So this morning I was responding to some text messages and just watching my daily morning of Bailey Cesarean. It was there in that moment when something just seemed off. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I think I didn't like my PlayStation. There was just something about it that was just so boring. So I asked myself,
Self? That's what you say. You say self?
what could I do to make this better? What could I do to make it feel more original, to feel more me? So I thought about it and I had an idea. What if I paint it? And pink of all colors. So I got out of bed, real ladylike, and I got right to it. Presto! And just like that, I'm a real boy! I went ahead and powered down my PlayStation, took a good few minutes, and then I went ahead and I unplugged it and I got it all ready for prep. So some of the things you'll be needing for this is a PlayStation 4, and variety of paints, primers, color you want to do it, and I also got a matte color for a finish. Then I also used this little toolkit here to take it apart with. So start out by laying out a towel, then leave the door unlocked and wait for your trade. Oops, wrong video. Go ahead and lay out a towel and get your PlayStation and all the tools ready. I went ahead and popped off the side of the PlayStation right here. It's actually very easy, it should just pop right off. And now I'm going to use some compressed air to push out some excess dust. I normally dust and clean my PlayStation once every few months to avoid dust buildup. Dust buildup can result into overheating and slowing down your game station. Now using a Phillips screwdriver, I will be using this to unscrew this big bolt right here and release the main hard drive. I am going to be spray painting this outside, so I'd rather be super cautious and remove this so if I do break my PlayStation, I'll still have all the memory. Yeah, looking back on this, I really didn't have to undo all these screws, but I mean, like, you know, I'm gay, so I don't really know what I'm doing here in this per se. I am taking these two screws off in the back. These hold on the two big plastic pieces that we're about to pop off. So I did have to look at the video I normally look at when I take this apart just because I forgot how hard these were to actually take off. Like, you have to pry them off. Like, this is not a simple little just yank and it's there like the first one was, okay? Like, you see me struggling here, but I'm doing this for you. I'm struggling for you.
Much later.
After struggling for you much later, I finally was able to pop it off and look how dusty it is. We'll clean that later, but now I'm going to go back in with my air compressor and just spray it down. Make sure all that dust is gone, especially if we're going to paint it. We don't want any of the dust particles to mix in with the paint and then it just becomes like residue. It's just not cute, okay? Like, we just don't want that. Now, let me tell you, not only did I film most of this off camera, as you can clearly see, but I have never met a more difficult bottom to pop off in my life. And the only reason I was spraying it was because I was delaying from the fact that I couldn't take it off. So I had to pull out the video again just to make sure I was doing it right, and I was, but the thing that was frustrating about the whole thing is that it was just really freaking difficult, and I was kind of scared about putting it back on afterwards just because of like paint and everything, but I guess we'll see how that turns out once we get there. I finally was able to get it off and just look at all that dust. Going back in with my air compressor, I'm going to use it like an enema and just clean that baby out. Time to flip this bad boy on his stomach and go ahead and take off these two big long screws right here. I already lost one from cleaning it a while ago, so don't worry about me and I won't worry about you, okay? And then I'm going to take out some more screws just to pop out this huge hard drive right here. I'm also doing this because I want to spray paint the grates right here and I don't want the paint to get inside of the hard drive. So this way it'll just make it a lot easier. So I couldn't figure out how to pop open this hard drive, so I decided just to leave it on there, still connect it. But I will go ahead and once I cover everything with painter's tape, I will just cover that whole area right up. Finally, once I got them off, I went ahead and I washed them off screen and now I'm sanding them. I've had this forever, so there's just a bunch of buildup on there that I really couldn't get off just by cleaning it. And this is also going to help the primer just stick to the plastic a lot better. Going in with a white spray paint just to prime it. Again, I am going over this with pink, and since it is black, it'll just show up a lot easier and I won't have to do as many coats. Now that they're primed to perfection, I'm going to wait about 6 to 7 hours to come back out, flip them and do the same things to the other side, but also do the same part to the motherboard circuity thingy that I covered in painter's tape off camera. Fun fact, I originally thought I was filming it, but turns out the camera was not on, so here we are now. See, I did cover it in painter's tape for you. I also used 2 iPhone chargers to cover up the USB ports so that paint wouldn't get through them. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, time to make it pink. And the paint I'll be using is Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Paint and Primer in the color Berry Pink. Now, the color did come in a gloss, and I didn't really want it to be glossy. I wanted it to feel like an 80s video game console in Barbie's room, so I wanted to make it a matte pink and not do a glossy pink. I also did a poll on Instagram, and 57% of you agreed that I should also do it matte. So the 43% who said glossy, yeah, mind your business. After a few hours, once the pink paint was dry, I went ahead and went in with a matte coat to cover all surface areas that we just painted pink. Not only will this give it a matte-like effect, it will also add a layer of protection around the paint to prevent from chipping. It's like a clear coat for your nails, but for your PlayStation. After a few hours of drying, I did bring them inside overnight to continue drying in a warmer setting. If you paint something and it's cold outside, your spray paint might not solidify and become more vulnerable to chipping. Okay, so I did mess up and I tried to fix it, but once I tried to fix it, I was shaking the paint out of the can and too much paint ended up coming out. So I tried to blow it to spread it out and that didn't work. And then I tried to like fix it again with the matte spray, and as you can obviously tell, that didn't work. So we'll just figure it out tomorrow, okay? Okay, breakaway. As you can see, I did all of these, and you see that one up? Right there? Right there? Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna get some Goo Gone and like wipe this off tomorrow, redo this one, but other than that, like, these came out really good. So that's just annoying, but I'll get through it. And back to our regular programming. Okay, just kidding. I got lazy, so instead of using Goo Gone to wipe it all off, I'm just going to go over it with another coat of the pink, and then let that dry, and then come back in with a coat of matte, and then call it a day. I also did some touch-ups on the bottoms, and that's about it. Now it's time for your daily dose of ASMR. Boo! Bam. So I did get a little on here. Fingers crossed I didn't do anything. Turns out my camera wasn't rolling when I went ahead and I put this part of the motherboard back in, but right now I am screwing it back in to anchor the motherboard down. Flipping it back over, I am now going to just put all the pieces back in, like the main hard drive and these little plastic pieces right here. So I grabbed some super glue, ended up not even using it because this is the piece that goes down the front. Once you turn on your PlayStation, this lights up and it just popped right in so smoothly. I didn't even end up using the glue. And unlike the struggle bus the first go around, this time it was super easy to put back on, screw into place, and pop them back together. At this point, I got super excited because I already loved how it was looking. So I did accidentally spray paint over this, but I'm using some goo off. It is coming off, so that's great. And this is the inside, so you're not even gonna see it, but I kind of just lightly, and then I'm letting it sit. Okay, so a little time has gone by. Ooh, and it is working. Okay, so as you can see, I got it all off. It did take a minute, and just to speed things up, I did grab a razor blade and kind of just went at it. Get out of here. So I'm gonna let this dry for a bit just to make sure it's not tacky. It is a little smudgy still. And I'm gonna go ahead and plop the hard drive back in. This was the moment of truth. This was gonna be the moment where I was gonna be, either it's gonna fuck up the paint or it's gonna be super easy to put back on. And it was super easy to put back on. See me do it right there. All I had to do left was put on these 2 back screws and I was done. Okay guys, so it's the moment of truth. I have it hooked up to my TV. It's on the right HDMI. I'm about to turn it on. Oh! Okay, wait. Let's make sure everything works well. Oh man, look how beautiful that looks. Come on. I hope I have it on the right HDMI. Let's try this.
12 seconds later.
Okay guys, look. Ah! It's working, it's updating. It said, hey, you didn't turn us off correctly and it's been a few days, so we're just gonna like reload back on, but You can't tell me this isn't just like everything. So I'm gonna clean everything up now and get it really, really pretty, but like it's working, and my controller isn't pink, but like, I mean, it already kind of like, that's a vibe. Hi Barbie, hi wigs, that's a vibe. Hi wigs, that's a vibe. For touch-ups, it's gonna be really simple. We're gonna get that same pink paint, spray it into the cap, and just use a paintbrush and go over the areas that really weren't covered or were covered by painter's tape. As you can see, I had this area right here and the button. I ended up accidentally covering the button with painter's tape when I did my first few go-arounds. As you can see, I did the bottom button to eject discs. I just went ahead and covered this up real quick. And then I let it dry, and it's time for the grand reveal. It's pink. I'm so happy with this, guys. Like, it just makes my room feel like more like a Barbie room, and I feel like my life in plastic is more fantastic now, and I'm just really grateful, okay? I'm so obsessed with it. I'm really excited, and if you do really like the makeup that I'm wearing to go with my new pink PlayStation 4, then keep in tune, because in a few days I will be uploading a video where I show you how to become this beautiful lady that you see in front of you. And until next time, my name is Rose Gold Blunt. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.